hanging out. I'm running a little bit late for work today. However, I'm my own boss, so not such a bad deal. I'm gonna pop out of the car, show what it looks like for my morning routine, answer some questions, and I don't know, do the communication stuff. Really wish I was wearing my socks this morning. A little thicker than the ones I got going on right now. However, today I think it's going to be a good day. Let's try it out. And this camera on this phone is ridiculously nice. Crisp, very much so. All right, first things first, zip up the zipper that I negated to do so I don't look like somebody who can't dress themselves. Make sure I have everything. Good gold. Here we go. Ooh, try not to get hit by peeps in the parking lot. Boom-ba-da, boom-ba-da. Boom-ba-da, boom-ba-da. Boom-ba-da, boom-ba-da. Boom-ba-da, boom-ba-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bum. All right, let's see ya. And I'm gonna leave those on the inside here. You know what? What a fun car. A little dirty right now. Yeah, I'm digging the new car. I get a lot of compliments on it. I think it did a really good job. I'm very super stoked on that. Very nice. Give a shout out to the Rap Shack here. They're actually right around the corner. And yeah, here's where I work. Big Island Guitars. In the Hilo Shopping Center, there's a place around the corner called Island Naturals, called Island Snatch. It's like for hippies, but it's a little expensive. They got some good vegan stuff. And a hot bar, which is super nice. I've actually never eaten at any of the other places. I'm one of those people you call poor. So each morning I take my sign that I'm working, and I put it out and I check to see. These are the jazz workshops. Hey, what's up? How you doing? These are the jazz workshops, and then the singer workshops that we do as well. This next year, what we're doing is got a recording studio that I'm going to pay money for somebody who wins the competition here to go do a little recording. Haven't really worked out all the details, but I do know that that's going to be a change of the pace. And then on every first Tuesday of the month, we've got a jazz, beginner jazz ensemble, which is lots of fun. It's for people who just play woodwinds or brass that don't really know what they're doing, or do know a little bit about what they're doing, but don't know how to work with a group. So that's lots of fun. I do, however, need to change the this poster, which is a bummer, but maybe since there aren't really any dates on here, like year or anything, I could take this, save it, and then have another one that has the other stuff. So have a few of these in rotation. When there are enough of those, well then just go back and like place the original over there with an actual time. It's just something like that. If you've got a better idea, please tell me. This is the Coconut Wireless, onto which local musicians put up some information about whom they would like to play with or what they like to do. Although it's being really bombarded by stuff that's not music, but whatever. Hello. I'm not going to be a naysayer, not going to be angry about it. Ways for students to get involved. The store opens, I think, at 10-ish. Yes. And then they always post stuff for local musicians that are going on, which is really cool. And little one did a drawing for us for the workshop. How cute. Anywho, this is the store, and then is where we move this around and do our workshop, which is lots of fun as well. And then here is where I work. Oh, I'm old. Not that old though. And first Saturday, first Friday, first Tuesday, try to offer events, have fun, provide something cool for the community. This is weird holding the camera. I'm not used to this, taking me forever to do this. Ooh, I'm old. Bomb-a-da-bomb-a-dum. Bomb-a-da-bomb-a-bum-bum-bum-bum. Throw a little air condition on, which is super, super nice. I share the room with, I think, 2 or 3 other teachers. A few of them teach in the store. I mean, not teach in the store. A few of them work at the store. Very nice. Usually I use the bathroom right about now, but I haven't drank enough coffee, so I might need to pop out. Do that. Let's see here, the bathroom key's there. How nice. And get myself a little situated. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Oh no, I gotta sweep. It looks horrible in here. So, even though I share a room with some folks, nobody cleans. I'm the resident cleaner and paper towel and Windex and broom supplier and blah 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 blah. So I've gotten over that, as you can clearly see. But I do like to keep the place a little bit clean. I teach a lot of children. They're always wiping their faces and their noses. I'm usually passing between being sick, kinda, not really, but generally in good health. It's just about a month and a half ago, got really sick for like 2 weeks, so got rid of that, which is wonderful. I think it might have been COVID, but got tested. It wasn't. The whole idea is I went to CVS to get a the update, the COVID vaccine. Long story short, they said no. And then when I was like, well, why? Blah, blah, blah. 5 minutes later, they told me to like blame RFK. It was really, really weird. Stuff like that. So people here in Hawaii are not weirded out by speaking their mind, which is great. But yeah, getting together everything in the morning, trying to line up everything. Take a few minutes here and there to like prepare myself with my students. I do planned long-term syllabuses, which means basically that I set up a syllabus for a student. I try to work with them along each week. And at a certain point, I'm able to like see if they're going to be able to adhere to all these ideas and move on. You know, you can generally tell if somebody's going to be able to grasp something and then be able to do it as well long term. And then how to get them there. And if they're not able or capable of doing that, what do we do and change the syllabus to like have it be an all-encompassing music foundation to just having fun? How do you go through the process of learning a few chords, have fun with those chords, and then use those to do other musical ideas. That's about it. All sorts of students. I've got some students that are septuagenarians, octogenarians, which 70s and 80s, they just want to get together and hang out and play, talk a little story, which is great, because that means that really I'm spending my time doing an altruist service, although I am charging. But I give discounted rates for those people who are financially, super well off. I'd have to say that this last administration has really kind of screwed me. Ooh. However, it will get better eventually. And as far as what we're doing today, it has nothing to do with anything else but music. So the whole point of this is getting used to coming in, doing a schedule, doing the same thing has become very kind of therapeutic, which I really like. I do enjoy my long-term students that have been with me for over 2 years. I've got some students with families that find this to be a vital, fun activity that always is, teaching in some capacity. And because I've been teaching them for so long, we don't just talk about like music theory. We talk about worldly stuff and how to relate that. So like, it's really interesting. Some of my students are now starting to write songs, which is wonderful because I've taught them college level music and they don't understand how much they know. But I've been giving tests to some of my students and it's just amazing. So I'm super, super, super happy that like out of 30 students, at least 20% of them know their circle of fifths. They know how to write out notation. They understand what the basic foundations of rhythm and pitch are. It's very, very cool, very, very cute. But one day at a time. I do need to get in here and sweep the floors and mop the floors. But I'm only able to mop maybe 2-3 times a year. Usually don't have to. Last couple cycles we've had some people drop their food or their coffee or something, I consistently ask for other people not to eat inside the music room because it draws insects, but nobody listens. So, real love. And you ask and you plead, but they don't say yeah. Time after time. Oh, baby. Time after time. Time after time. I have an open invitation to go play some Middle Eastern music, some ragas, some shokas. And I would really like to do that, get this vina up and going. Hello to you. I know you'd be surprised, 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 surprised. I just found out that I'm gonna be able to get a playable violin for around 200 bucks. Got a buddy who does luthier work and repair. He's got one of those Amazon models. He did a setup on it, and hopefully if it stays in a room which has air conditioning control, that $200 investment will work well for me in the long term. I only have one violin student right now, and I'm proficient on the mandolin. I know all the notes and the scales. I've just been working on the positionings by learning from the Suzuki method and learning from the different books that we go through. I'm finding each one of them has very, very interesting ways of doing it, and they're all relatively the same, but a couple of them have nuances, so it's nice to learn all the nuances from all the different books, which is kind of cool. And if somebody would have told me that I'd be doing this level of interaction on the internet or doing something like that like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have been like, cool, what's the internet? Because it wasn't invented when I was in. But the whole idea is, I like the position onto where I am right now. I thought about it as I didn't like it for a while. Life is really challenging, it's really hard, and as I get older, I'm understanding the benefit and the privilege of being able to see things for what they truly are. And having said that, don't take anything I say, except for maybe music, with anything more than a grain of salt. Dummy is as dummy do. And right now, I'm just trying to piece together my reality, and music has always been a great way to do it. So teaching a few days a week has become very, very nice, very, very therapeutic. I do a service for my community, which I enjoy. And, excuse me, and creating musicians and players that they could go on and do something that maybe I didn't achieve, like following through with college. I realize now, I've thought back extensively about my mental well-being, and it turns out at the period in time that I was attending college, it wasn't the best time. I had mental baggage that I wasn't able to unpack, and the idea of college while there was abstract, if you know what I mean. It's kind of a weird way to say that. So now that I'm an adult and I realize, you know, college is different things for different people. I find my personal well-being right now is unbelievably different than it was, geez, when was that? 22 years ago. I've gone back to college since, community college for communications, and I think I took like some math courses. The one thing I should have done is I really was intrigued by the ASL, the sign language class next door. So I got a book and I learned as much ASL as I could. Right now I'm somewhat fluent. I understand how to have a small conversation. So becoming bilingual in many different languages and understanding how music works, learning how to explain music in German and Hawaiian and Spanish, Portuguese, and then Sanskrit, Hindi, and Indian music. I gotta say, it's really rounded out my whole circle here, and it's enough for me that I'll always have something to learn and to do. I don't take myself too seriously. I really enjoy teaching, as I was just aforementioning, and I don't mind helping out, chipping in for things in our community. My big goal, big goal, biggity goal, I would really like to have a music community center with my life. Ding! The major kind of pushes over for now. And it's good. Oh, cool. Bass dude. So one of the really cool things that I was just before mentioning is I've got this kind of thing going on in life. I'm building a house, and I'm trying to get all the things that I'm doing kind of to line up. And if you've ever like tried to take on too many things at once, that's where I'm at in life. The whole idea is being able to center myself mentally and then remember that tomorrow will also come, have fun, and that music is subversive and it's different for different people at different places. Ooh, I like this one. So what I would like to do is continuing on, and eventually I'm gonna find a few people to play with that, you know, tickles my fancy, and that hopefully I provide a fun role for them, and continue to meet people in my local community, all the while not really just taking myself too seriously, having fun, and being super respectful, trying to keep it what it is. Been writing some more, having fun with that process. And the whole point behind writing is being able to take life experience and turn that into something which is, at very least, audible. Something that somebody could listen to or hear, have a little connection with, and maybe it helps them in their journey. And I believe that is basically it. Stick control, Suzuki method, and harmony sight reading. So once I set up the room, just to have the different stations for all the different players that are going to be with me in the day, I plug in the camera and the computer and all this right here. And start my electronic day, which means throw open the computer, look up where I was last. If I'm able to pull back the screens, I do all the how-to videos from all the live last sessions. So like the live sessions last time, I did some Cat Stevens. I didn't know any of that stuff. We did some like, what was it, like Chet Atkins, some No Doubt, stuff like that. So I just leave the browser up and I go back. I am horrible with the technologies, so I'm trying to slowly learn how to do things and not get all nimble bimble doing them and have fun with it. So I guess this is just a little insight and a look into what I do as far as the music goes, how I set up my day, the trials and tribulations, and I gotta say, every time I go live, or every time I do like a teaching thing that's like more lesson oriented and planned, it is closer to the thing that I really enjoy, teaching full-time, interactive space with people. If you are watching this eventually and you are a musician and you would like to take your music theory to the next level, maybe try out this channel. Become a member, why don't you? On Tuesdays from 12:20 to 1:20 each week, come by this channel for members only, join the membership level, which allows you to be there, and then ask questions. Thus far, the foundation of music theory has started from what is notation, how to look at chords, how to look at individual single notes, how to look at dyads, how to start working with something called the circle of fifths, and then how to start utilizing that for music analyzation, and then being able to use that to increase your own music vocabulary. So at one point, you maybe can start articulating yourself via notation and then start arranging your own songs. That is the greatest thing that I could ever hope for anybody that watches this channel, is that you utilize yours truly as a resource to really just enjoy music. And then as a member, if you have a green name, I will always stop what I'm doing in anything, and I will, live streams, you know what I mean? And I will answer any questions that you might have. The reason being is you are important to me. I remember what it was like when I was younger. I had one pal that taught me how to play the guitar, and I miss them dearly. They're not dead, they just, they don't do music anymore. They have gotten to the realm of what you would call somebody who owns an instrument and thinks fondly about what they used to do in yesteryear. However, right now, it's not about talking about my spacey nooner past. It is about hoping for the future. And I guess just one side note on that, if the call were to come in and somebody were to say, hey, let's do the musics. Let's do the musics right where we left off. I think that the 35 or 40 years of music aptitude and teaching ourselves how to play music, observe the world. I assumed that the other individuals from my first band, my favorite band that I've ever been in, I assumed that they're still writing music. It's hard to stop writing music, I think. However, I don't know. I would love to see what would happen. It is an interesting life and world we live in right now. So, having said that, this is how I set up for the morning. I mean, I didn't do a couple things. I should have set up the drum set a little bit more, but this is it. Once I'm all set up, I get my act together, I figure out what I want to do for the day, and then I just kind of go from there. I've been doing these odd rhythms, so I think maybe I want to just like kind of jam over a backing track. Maybe the Purdy Shuffle. Anywho, I'm gonna hop on for a little minute on another stream just to do a live thingy vertical. And if you're watching this, thumbs up, put something cool in the comment section. I really do appreciate folks who like this channel, and please share. Aloha. Ba-ba-bum, ba-dum, da-da-da-da-da.